So when my sisters and I were kids, my dad, he used to buy us a lot of books, a lot of storybooks, and sometimes he would read them to us, other times we just read them by ourselves. And one of the stories I remember very vividly was the story about the donkey and the lion. So I'm going to tell you guys the story because that's what today's episode is based on. So there was this donkey in the forest, and he was kind of down on himself because, I'm trying to remember, he was down on himself because he felt like he never got any respect. No one was scared of him. No one sent the donkey, essentially. And so he would watch like the other animals, like the big animals in the jungle, like the lions, the tigers, the bears, the whatever, and how people feared them. How people feared them and, ran away from them and revered them and all of that. And he would wonder to himself, like, when would that ever be me? That's never going to be me. So anyways, this donkey one day was walking through the jungle and he came upon a lion suit. Now, don't ask me how a lion suit was in the jungle. I don't know. But he came upon like a lion suit lying there on the floor. He looked around, no lions, like, ooh, what's happening here? Anyways, he picks up the suit and puts the suit on. And then he was, like admiring himself, like, wow, look at me. I look like a lion. And then some other animals were coming, like walking down the path. And then they came upon this lion and they cowered. And the donkey to himself was like, why are they cowering? Like, I never get that reaction. Like, what's going on? And he saw them kind of like give him like the greeting of the king of the jungle, like, oh. And then the donkey said, oh, hold on. Oh, wait a minute. They see a lion. This is what it feels like. And so the donkey decided that he was going to wear the lion suit and be a lion and finally get all the respect and love and fear and whatever that the lions get. The donkey was walking around the jungle in his lion suit, and people would be afraid and people would give him respect and they would like clear the path for him to walk, and he was having the time of his life. Until one day the donkey got carried away and in reckless abandon decided that he was going to talk now, like, because he felt like he started to feel like the lion that he was pretending to be, and so he was going to give a decree, I think, to the jungle or something. My sisters that are watching this, if I'm probably messing up the story, but I'm somewhere around the ballpark. Anyways, so the donkey now opened his mouth. And it was at that point that the donkey realized that his fugazi was not going to work. So, when lions open their mouths, what happens? They roar. When donkeys open their mouths, they bray. Is it horses that bray, or what do donkeys do? Well, in my head it's bray. So, the donkey opened his mouth, and true to form of what he actually was, what came out of his mouth was not a roar, it was a bray. And the donkey hee-hawed, right? And then everybody in the jungle is like, that doesn't exactly sound like, because we know what a lion sounds like. I remember saying, we know that we are looking at a lion, but we also kind of know that a lion doesn't sound like that. That we know what sounds like that. So there was a bit of dissonance, like cognitive dissonance in the animals in the jungle, and the donkey, not realizing his mistake, continued to declare and talk. And it was in that moment that the animals realized that what was on the outside and what was on the inside were not the same thing. And the donkey was found out. And it was a kid's book, so I don't want to say he was exiled because I feel like that would be too harsh for children. But something sharp bad happened to the donkey, and the moral of the story was, don't pretend, be yourself, be who you are, blah 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 blah. But we're gonna take it in a different angle for this episode. So let's get into today's episode.
Does she like me? Was that a date?
All right.
Is she single? Wait, what are we? Is it too soon to say I love you? Should I call him now or should I just wait? Maybe I should wait. Wait, should I let her go? Why did he just ghost me like that? Wait, can't we work it out? Is he an F-boy? Is she toxic? We hooked up. Why is he saying we're just friends? Let's face it. Relationships are the best thing when they work and a nightmare when they flop. You're recklessly giddy when Cupid's arrow sticks you in the ass and a nervous, pain-filled wreck when he comes to take his love away. There's hardly anyone who cannot relate to the dizzying highs and debilitating lows of relationships. We are naturally wired for connection, so when that's messed with, it can make us feel crazy. Enter BamBAEzled. On this show, we help you figure out if you are being bamboozled by your bae. That's it. Nothing else, nothing fancy, just a real, raw, honest to heavens, and hopefully helpful take on the best to the worst of relationships and everything on the spectrum in between. No topic is off limits, no situation is too taboo or embarrassing. Give us everything. So, if you're wondering if you're being bamboozled by your bae, don't walk, run here. This is your new home. I am your new bestie, and I've got you. Now, let's figure out if you're being BamBAEzled.
All right, welcome, beautiful people. Welcome to today's episode. I always say thank you for rocking with me and thank you for being here. Today we have an interesting episode, and while I know that this is a relationship show, I also know that relationships are not just about the relationships we have with others. The relationship we have with ourselves is just as, if not more important than the relationship we have with others, because that will be the bedrock, the foundation, it will be the framework that we build every other relationship on. So, super, super important. Now, I was telling you about the donkey that wore the lion suit. And today we're talking about how you communicate your standards in a relationship. How do you tell people, your significant other included, your situationship included, your bae included, how do you communicate your standards to people? If you find yourself saying to a person, I don't take this, you've already lost it. This is what I believe. Should I tell you why? I'll tell you why. If it has gotten to the point where a person has disrespected, hurt, harmed, abused, misused you so much that you have to tell them not to do so, you've been there too long. And what you have actually told them is that this is how you will be treated. When you find yourself in a situation that does not align with your beliefs, your values, your standards, who you know yourself to be, who you say you are, you're telling of people that this does not align with me and therefore this will not be accepted is not something you do verbally. It is not something you pick up a microphone and start like singing about the place. You know, like when people want to fight and they're saying, hold my shirt, hold my shirt. There's this, I'm not going to, before, because I don't want this to become like a tribal thing. So I'm not going to call any tribes. But there's some people who, there's some people from places that are known to not go head first into a fight. They will say like, hold my shirt, like hold my shirt, like hold my shirt, or like hold my shirt, or hold my shirt, because I'm going to beat this guy up. I'm going to fight. I'm going to like shalahi, whatever, right? Then there are people who they're saying, I am going to beat this guy, is them beating the guy. Facts, like, period. So by the time this person has come to the place where they've decided to beat you, they are beating you. They're not telling you they're going to beat you. They're not telling you they're going to fight you. They're fighting you. Who do you think? Who do you think gets more respect? Who do you think inspires more fear? The person who says, I'm going to do it, Even if they're saying it as loud as whatever, even if they're kicking up a lot of dust when they're doing it, even if they're swearing like I would, like, what, even if they're doing all of that, and the person who might not be as loud, but by the time you feel them, you're on the floor. Who do you think gets more respect? I think we already know the answer. A lot of us have found ourselves in situations where we are staying in relationships that are not good for us. And we are telling people who we are. We're telling people that we have standards. We're telling people that we have boundaries. We're telling this person what we don't like. We're telling them what they should do. We're telling them that we should be respected. We're telling them that we have self-esteem and self-worth. And the problem is that's all we're doing, is telling them who we are. We are not showing them who we are. Now, I started this episode with a story about the donkey in the lion's suit because one of the main determining factors in this journey of identity is self-esteem. Self-esteem is a topic that I think many of us need to revisit in our lives because it is something that we have been robbed of either at the time in our lives when we didn't have any control of it, like when we were kids, and it wasn't instilled in us by our parents, by the environment we were in, or as we've gone along in life, we've been robbed and drained of what self-esteem we believe that we had because of the things that we've experienced. There are some relationships that you get into. By the time that person, that man or woman is done with you, you will literally be like a shadow of yourself. You won't remember your left from your right because sometimes we get into relationships with narcissists, with toxic people. We get into relationships with people who haven't dealt with their trauma, and therefore they bring a lot of drama into our lives. We get into relationships with people who don't want to be in relationships, and they're not wanting to be there, and our wanting them to be there causes so much friction and so much damage to our sense of worth. So, one of the very important things that, we have to like have a handle on and get a grasp of when it comes to relationships is self-esteem. When you have high self-esteem, it means that you have a good opinion of yourself. That's what I think self-esteem is. It does not mean that you are a perfect person. Self-esteem is not contingent on your perfection. It is, however, determined by your perception of who you are, all of that, and still being able to determine that it is good, that it is enough. Essentially, it is your ability to see something as having value. That's what self-esteem is. So this is not a conversation about being a good person or being a bad person. It is about seeing what you are as good. And if you have come to that place in your life. Now, the hope is that we all try to be good people. But the reality is that that's not going to be the case. But for you who is watching this, I want us to have a conversation about why it is that you constantly find yourself in positions where you are having to tell people with shouting, with anger, through tears, begging, pleading, stonewalling, silent treatment. You're having to tell people not to treat you a certain way or to treat you in the way that you think you deserve to be treated. It is never going to change if you remain unchanged. And the truth of the matter is the people in your life that treat you like shit treat you that way Because even though you may be saying, like the donkey who had the lion suit on, I am someone of value. I've got high self esteem. I know my worth. I deserve to be treated well. Even if you are saying it on the outside, even if you have on all the designers from head to toe, even if you travel 17 times a year to a different country or a different place, each of those 17 times, all expenses paid, you go to the most expensive resorts, even if you live in a mansion and you've got the most expensive cars, even if you have all of that, the mere fact that you remain in a situation where you are devalued, where you are misused, where you are treated badly, it tells that person and everyone else everything they need to know about what is truly on the inside of you. And so, what we accept is the equivalent of that donkey opening his mouth or opening its mouth to bray. I feel like braying is the wrong word. I'm just give me a second. What do donkeys do? What do donkeys do? Do donkeys bray? I'm gonna do it. Yeah, because it's right there. I feel like they do. No. Do donkeys bray? Yeah, yeah. I was right. Come on, my school fees were not wasted. So that is the equivalent of the donkey in the lion suit that was feared, that looked like one thing, exposing itself as another thing, as what it truly was. When a man or a woman disrespects you, when they intentionally seek out ways to hurt you, when they disregard the things that you've said are important to you, and instead of you reevaluating that relationship, you stay in it and you spend your energy begging or telling this person not to do that, telling them, don't give me the silent treatment. The silent treatment is bad. The silent treatment is bad. The silent treatment is bad. Don't you know it is bad? Don't you know it's abusive? It's not good. It's not good. It's not good. Because you love them, right? And here's the thing. I am so empathetic to people that are in love because love is an amazing thing, but it makes us such foolish people. It makes you a foolish person if you're with the wrong person, because when your guard is down and your walls are down, when you're in love with the right person, they they use your open gates as only a way to enter into you. They don't use it as a way to like lay siege to your fortress and like destroy it. So if you're with the right person, your foolishness in love is actually all right. If you're with the wrong person though, you've just given them ammunition with which to destroy you. So, anyways, I was saying that you telling me not to give you the silent treatment, for instance, is you also telling me that you don't value yourself enough not to accept it. If you've told me once, you've told me twice, you've told me enough times for me to know. Believe me, everybody knows what they're doing. This is if you make peace with this reality, you're going to save yourself so much hurt, unnecessary drama and hurt in your relationships. If you come to the understanding and the acceptance that every man and woman, we know what we're doing. We know when we're being rude. We know when we're being passive aggressive. A man knows what he's doing when he ghosts you. You have Trust me, there is no epistle, there is no paragraph, no voice note, no sex. There is no nothing that you're going to do to convince a person not to do the thing that they want to do, and vice versa. At the very, very, very most, what will happen is he will have that sex with you, she will have that sex with you, or she will let you buy her that whatever. But if her mind is not with you, if his mind is not with you, they're still going to leave. Or they're still going to treat you in a way that does not align with how you should treat another human being. It is your responsibility as a person who actually knows your value, not a person who wears your value, to determine if this person can see your value, and if they cannot, to gather all of yourself and walk. Walk. That is the way that you communicate. That you are not just wearing a lion suit, that you are a lion. Because the truth of the matter is, a lion doesn't have to, just staying within the world of the analogy, right? A lion will never be afraid because it knows that what is on it is exactly the same thing as what is inside of it. And so if you turn it any which way, you are going to get a lion. There is nothing different on the inside of it than what has been portrayed on the outside. And as people, it's so sad when someone calls your bluff. You've talked a good game. Like, you've talked a good game. I am this, I am that. I don't take no shit. I know who I am. I know what I'm worth. You've sang the songs. You've danced the TikTok dances. And then someone says, okay, let's see if true, this person is a donkey or a lion. And they call your bluff. It pains me. And they find out that Ashe, this person is actually a donkey. Ashe, all of that stuff that they were saying was all just babash. It was just a lie. And from the moment, I'm telling you this thing and you know it's true, from the moment, that first time, when they realize that, oh, hold on, I'm dealing with a donkey, not a lion, you know that it goes downhill from there, because from that point, they don't have to cower. I'm talking about within the analogy, people shouldn't cower around you. But the animals know they don't have to cower. The animals know they don't have to give you the respect and the accolades and the greetings that they give to the king of the jungle, because you're not. It pains my soul when that happens. The only reason that it happens, though, is when or because most of us have an appearance of self-esteem. We wear our self-esteem the way that donkey wore the lion's cloak or the lion's suit. And we're walking around the jungle. I'm just adjusting to be very comfortable because this thing I'm going to say, you're not going to like it. And we walk around the jungle, we walk around in our lives with everything on you is a designer. Everything. The hair on your head costs like $1,000+. You don't wear anything that is not made by a designer. You don't, and I like good stuff, don't get me wrong. So everything on you from head to toe is, it's Fendi this, it's Gucci that, it's LV this, it's Balenciaga that, all of it. You're decked to the nines all the time. Your face, you wear your face, you can't leave your house without any makeup on. You always look good. You drive the best cars. Men, you wear like you've got your AP on, and you have an appearance of being someone of value. But on the inside, you have this loud, screaming voice that is telling you you are worth nothing. And we put on all of that stuff on the outside and insist that it must be there because we don't want anyone to know or get hip to the fact that on the inside, we don't think we're worth much. And the one place that the inside of you will be tested and revealed is in relationships. Listen, relationships, I don't know how God created them and why He made them the way He did, but relationships are the place, they are the testing ground, they're the, God, they're the testing ground of life. Everything that you really are will come out in your intimate relationship. Everything. And if everything you are is nothing, nothing will come out. It will still come out. So we have the appearance of being people of value, but on the inside, we don't think very much of ourselves. Who you originally are will always dictate your experiences in life. All the time. Why? Because I can take this from many angles. From a religious angle, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. As you believe, so you are. Right? From a what people would call new age, even though I don't think it's new age, you attract what you are. So if you are someone who does not think very much of yourself, you are not going to attract someone who thinks very much of you. You are going to attract someone who doesn't think very much of you. Why? Because who you are dictates the life that you will have. And no matter how hard you try to fight that from the outside, your original self will always manifest. And so you might have the best intentions, but if you don't think very much of yourself, as beautiful, as handsome as you are, as educated as you are, as well traveled, as worldly, as sophisticated, whatever the case may be, if you have that part of you, the real part of you, your self worth, if that is in the toilet, you will attract people that will constantly keep that reality true. And that is how you have people who, when you look at them and you look at their stories, you say, how the hell did this woman take all that shit? She's so beautiful. She has a lion suit on. She is so beautiful, but she is so broken. And it might not be any fault of hers. Because the last thing that will happen in this place, in this community, is that the people who have suffered will be shamed. You will never be shamed here. We'll tell the truth, but we're not shaming anyone. Have you ever seen a woman that is not physically attractive? She's not. And the truth is the truth. Like, her features, the way they came together, just, we thank the Lord. That's all we can say. Mm? But when this woman walks in a room, there's something about the way she carries herself. You can't resist her. You can't resist her. It's magnetic. And there's a harsher way to say it. Like my friends say, you can see a woman that looks like a horse. And I think horses are very handsome. But a human being that looks like a horse is not. And this woman pulls guys like, she's like she does away with them. Okay, next, 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 next. Do you know what it is? It's her energy. And then on the other hand, you can see this woman that is physically beautiful. Body on chair. I think that's how it says. That's how it said, right? Body on chair, right? She's physically stunning. Her face card cannot decline if it tried. Who born the POS machine or whatever? But that woman cannot seem to like land one guy. Or the guys that she keeps landing are douchebags that just, sleep with her and dump her and walk away. Show me a beauty. Look, so I don't want to be sued, but we all know a very, 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 very popular, very beautiful woman. She's a celebrity, she's a musician, she's got a lot of people that worship her. And there were rumors that she was cheated on. Show me a beautiful woman, and I'll show you a woman who cries at night because her husband is being an ass or her boyfriend is being an idiot. It's not even just non-verbal communication. We communicate with each other spirit to spirit. It's the same way an animal can know who to bite and who not to bite because they can feel the fear inside of you. Just like that, we can feel the damage inside people. And worse off if you are an intuitive person, because we all have intuition, but then there's some of us who have been blessed with a special kind of intuition, especially women. You can feel people's brokenness. You can feel where there are holes. And predators identify that and they go for those people because they know that it doesn't matter that this person is wearing a lion suit on the outside. I know that I'm dealing with a donkey. And I know what to do with a donkey. I know that a donkey can't bite me. I know that a donkey can't harm me. I know that a donkey doesn't command any respect. I love animals, by the way, and I love donkeys. So, but this is just for the world of the analogy. And they know that they're dealing with a donkey. And so they only have to come up to the standard or the level of what a donkey deserves. And isn't it crazy that that same man or woman who refused to respect you, who would not accord you any kind of regard whatsoever, lands in the hands of an actual lion, and all of a sudden that person sits the F up. All the things that you are begging this man to do, begging this woman to do, they are rolling on the floor to do it for this other person. Why? Because we communicate with each other spiritually and they know that they're dealing with the real deal. And with you or with this other person, they were dealing with a representative. They were dealing with, it's like real gold and gold plated. Now, for those of us who know gold and know the value of gold, we can tell when something is fake. We can tell when this is gold plated. It doesn't matter how shiny it is in the display box. You know when it's gold plated. And with gold plated, we know that after a while, it's going to fade. And what will happen is the metal underneath, the real substance of this thing will show. And the value of that is how it is priced. It's not the value of the gold that that jewelry is priced at. It's the value of the real thing it's made of. Now, when you have real gold, tiny little gram like this small thing, it is the price of it, you can buy 1,000 of that gold plated stuff that is shiny and looking pretty with this one tiny little gram of gold. And if you can't afford it, walk by, because the people who know its value. It knows its value. So you only come to get the real gold when you can afford it. So I'm hoping that by the time you're done with this episode, those of us who have, who are donkeys that have been walking around in lion suits will pay more attention to actually being the thing that we appear to be, instead of putting all our energy and focus into just having the appearance of self-esteem and having the appearance of self-worth and self-value and self-love and all of that stuff. Okay, because the truth of the matter is people can always tell. And even if they cannot tell at first, when you go through life with them and they watch and observe how you respond to their disrespect, how you respond to them devaluing you, how you respond to them trying to bulldoze over your boundaries, depending on whether you stay or leave, you're teaching them or showing them if they're dealing with a donkey or a lion. You see, in the absence of a person's behavior aligning with your true self, once they are not aligning with your true self, if you really do have self-esteem and you really do value yourself and love yourself, in the absence of their respect and their regard for that, you will be absent as well. That is you telling them. So that is you being the person who doesn't say, I'm going to hit you, or I'm going to fight you, or you're not saying, hold my shirt. If it gets to the point where you have to throw hands, hands are being thrown. That's the announcement, the person on the floor. And the announcement of use of your worth, of you telling a person, hey, listen, if you turn me from any angle, you're going to know, you're going to find out that you're dealing with a lion. You've checked the back, the tail is authentic. You've gone under the paws and the claws are authentic. You've gone on top, the mane is authentic. I am no bloody donkey. You don't say that with your mouth. You say that with your actions, because you will not be in a space that does not align with your value. Period. All right. Here are a list of suggestions. If you find that you have been faking your self-esteem this entire time and would like to build real self-esteem, here are some things you can do. Number one, practice self-compassion. Treat yourself with the same kindness, concern, and understanding that you would offer to a friend or a person that you love, like your child or your sibling or your parent. So everything that you have gone through in your life, all the times that you were told you were not good enough, either verbally or with the ways people responded to you as a person, all of that stuff does not define you. You have to know this from the inside. It's an inside job. All right. When you notice there is negative self-talk, pause and reframe your thoughts in a compassionate manner. Now, if people have piled on you, your parents, your siblings, your relatives, the society, life, your job, if life has piled on you in a way that's made you feel like you're not worth that much, when those voices come to you, you cannot be an ally to the negative voices in your head. You cannot be an ally to your own self-destruction. You have to now come at those negative thoughts with the power of compassion and kindness, and treat yourself like the most tender egg that has ever existed. That is the way you break the power of negativity, internal negativity in your mind. Number two, set and achieve personal goals. Accomplishing personal goals, no matter how small or seemingly insignificant, like sitting down to record a podcast episode when my battery is about to die, can boost your sense of competence and self-worth. Setting realistic, achievable goals allows you to experience success and build confidence over time. That is self-explanatory. If you do the thing, even when you fail and you get up and you keep doing the thing, that builds within you a sense of my ability to do the thing. One of the surest ways to signal your self-esteem is building your confidence. And one of the best ways to build confidence is showing competence. How do you show competence? You do the thing. That's it. All right. Number three, cultivate a growth mindset. Embrace the belief that abilities and intelligence can be developed with effort. It's not something you're either born with or not. Learning and persistence will help you build and develop abilities, skills, and intelligence. This mindset encourages resilience and a positive outlook on challenges that you face in life. Now, one of the things that breaks down our self-esteem is when we fail or when we think we have failed. If you change your relationship or your perception of failure, you then are able to put yourself in the position where Failing does not become the thing that defines you. It just becomes a part of the journey on to becoming the person that you are. And then now failing is not such a big deal. Okay, so it didn't work. Okay. Now I'm going to go and figure out how it works. And that is one of the ways that you build your self-esteem. So cultivate a growth mindset. Try to view your challenges as opportunities. Use them to learn rather than running away from them as if they are threats. Listen, there is no failure that can kill you. That's the truth. Okay, people will laugh. Okay, people are going to point fingers. Okay, people are going to talk. And then after that. So reframe is essentially what I'm saying. To cultivate a growth mindset, you must reframe how you perceive things like failure, things like being laughed at, things like, and things like that. Number 4, surround yourself with positive influences. Surround yourself with positive influences. I cannot say this enough. It is so important. The environment you are in determines so much about how you develop in life. And you might not be able to choose your environment at the start, but you can the older that you get. So, the people around you can significantly impact your self esteem. Surrounding yourself with supportive, positive minded individuals can reinforce your self worth and help you maintain a healthy self image. You have to identify and spend time and share space with people who uplift and encourage you. Not people who are always looking for the slightest thing to cut you down. Not people who give you backhanded comments. Not people who say you're pretty for a fat girl. Not people who say, well, are you really sure that this thing you want to do, are you really sure that you can actually do it? No. Find people who see the diamond in the rough. And all they ever want to focus on is the diamond, not the rough. Because that is how you begin to shine and you begin to bloom and blossom around people who see you for the amazing person that you are. Limit your interactions with people who consistently bring in negativity to your life, who are super critical. They don't have a good thing to say. Even the good things, they are laced with a lot of sarcasm and a lot of put downs and things like that. Please limit your interactions with people like that. They're just not good for you. And seek out communities or groups that share your interests, your values, and that foster a sense of belonging. Because one of the things that is the biggest threat to your self-esteem is rejection. When you are constantly rejected or cast out, it makes you feel like you are not good enough or worthy enough to be accepted. So what is the solution to that? Is going to places where you're accepted. Don't chase after people that don't want you. Go to places that open their arms to you and say, come, it's you I want. It's you specifically that I want. Those are the communities and spaces that you must seek out for and find yourself in. All right, thank you so much for spending this time with me. It is my hope that we become the sort of people who are on the inside exactly what we try to portray on the outside. We are as strong, we are as resilient, we are as hopeful, we are as worthy. Because the truth of the matter is you are. You are absolutely worthy just because you're human. No other reason. And if you can believe that your worth, your value as a person is something intrinsic. It's something that a human being cannot take because it's not a human being that created it. You got that straight from the cooking pot of God. You will realize that all the effort you put in creating your representative is wasted effort. All of that energy should be on who you are on the inside, because that's what truly matters. Because when you take a sponge and you squeeze it, you don't have to be there. You didn't have to be there when it was being soaking in whatever to know what it was soaked in. Because when you squeeze it, What comes out of it tells you exactly what it was soaked in. Your focus should be on the thing that you're soaked in. And that is that you are worthy, you matter, and you are enough. Period. I hope these thoughts have been somewhat helpful for you. And if they have, I'm asking that you please share them with someone who you think they might be helpful to as well. Thank you for spending this time with me. If you have a story, please send me a DM, send me an email. You know where to write to, BamBAEzled@gmail.com. Share your stories with us. These stories are helping us help other people in the realm of relationships. And I do believe that we can all have a good, meaningful relationship in our lives. And that's what we're trying to do with this show. It is important that I state that BamBAEzled is not a substitute for mental or professional mental or medical advice or help. If you've got a problem, please seek out a professional. And if you want me to recommend people, I certainly can. There are organizations that I personally work with, and I would be happy to recommend them to you. All right, you know what time it is? Sign off with me. In life, we can always do better or we can do worse. Let us try to find ourselves in the former more than we are in the latter. Stay safe out there in these relationship streets. Make sure that you are not bamboozling or being bamboozled by they. I will see you again in the next episode. But until then, let love guide you always. Bye for now.